Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War with the Great War mod. Let's go ahead and take a look at our situation as it is right now. I believe we ended off last time with dealing with the Ottomans that came out to... I think they were attacking the port, or they might have gone for trying to reconquer Constantinople. At this point I've been able to start taxing Constantinople. And, I mean, they're barely fine about it, and not too many troops actually stationed in there, so I've been able to reduce that a little bit. Troops here got pretty good chevrons. Hopefully we can kind of maybe build an army here, and then move on and actually go up to Moldova there, hoping the... Romanians will let us pass, even if they don't. I do have a port here, quickly can recruit a ship, land troops here and get in to take that. If nothing else, then to stop the inevitable communist takeover. At the same time, the troops that were landed in Serbia are making good headway, so the main army has made it to Sarajevo and taken out the university there. We're actually almost within striking distance of Belgrade. I kind of want to wait until I have my cavalry to attack it, but they don't seem to have... I was about to say they don't have heavy artillery. They do have heavy artillery. So we're going to make our way over there, but what I want to do now is I want to take the Australian horse, and I want to attack this port, force out the Austrian Navy, or what's left of it, so that I can sink it, and then we're going to head to join the army. The thing is, I mean, the Austrian Navy is probably more, at this point, more of a hindrance for them, or just a cost that we will liberate from them in sinking this. But anyways, as we go further north, we can see that the Austrians have actually taken back their capital. Heavy cost, I imagine, for their troops, but it is back, and their empire is not cut in half the same as it well, it's still cut in half in a way, because Transylvania is not really connected by roads through Serbia, but there's no like split in between Bohemia and Croatia-Serbia region, so they've taken that back, and it seems they might have halted the Italians for now anyways. Also there was some fighting back and forth here. Some Italian troops got cut down, but at the same time we got an advancing army of French troops that actually cut down a few Germans, so that's good. Over here, I set Allenby. He's going to advance through this route instead, mostly because, well, the enemy cities that we have left to conquer is on this side as we move through, and also the Germans have taken to destroying the infrastructure in the region. So first things first is to move Allenby's army and take out this small force. 15 troops on mortars with 40 just with rifles. We're going to go ahead and out-resolve that one. We ended up losing 118. Could have been hard to actually feel out where the enemy was, and that's why we took unnecessary high casualties. The replenishment rate is good in this region though, so we will be continuing moving to the Fulda gold mine. Extensive gold mining operations. With that we can also see that the warehouse is secure, and we'll go ahead and repair that, and hopefully that will increase the resupply rate in the region even further. Superior General for Edmund Allenby. We've got raid at Frankfurt. That was the one we were looking at. We have some troublesome news from Russia. In March of 1917, a series of labor strikes and political gatherings grew into an all-out revolt as thousands of workers and peasants swarmed the streets of Petrograd to protest the Tsar, the industries and the war. The February Revolution March on the Georgian calendar spread rapidly to other towns around the empire, drawing even larger part of the army into revolt until Tsar Nicholas was forced to abdicate on March the 15th. So, yeah, we're not having a good situation for one of our allies, where they're basically getting destroyed from within. The Fuda mines, of course, being seized by the German forces in the retreat. We've got new doctrine, aerial warfare, so to increase the amount of fighter planes, but also the strategies are surround just aerial combat and aerial reconnaissance and so on. Path blocked by Allenby. That was at the start of the turn. Nothing interesting right now. George V. The turnip winter is over. The winter is gone. We've got a Sylvester Westerman fighter pilot. He looks rather German. I don't know how he ended up there. Anyways, he's I've been sending him towards the port there, so he will be hopefully joining the our forces pretty soon. Look at that! What a Triforce! We've got the Italians, mostly actually troops from Libya, it seems. We've got the Belgians and the French. Too bad they're not even crossing the border to actually join in the fight, to continuing the fight towards the enemy. Doesn't look like the Italians have that strong of a hold of this area. However, no one's conducting any kind of operations to try and retake it. So I guess we're safe in that regard. With my moves here, we've got nothing left to move there. And up here, I don't really want to join in the French in taking Berlin, as I intend for myself to go in and take it and hold it. So I kind of want the French to lose that. At the same time, you can fly around here a little bit, take a look at what's going on. Russians got really strong, a really strong position around Budapest. Unfortunately though, it looks like that's gonna fall apart with the revolution coming in. So what it looks like right now is I'm gonna bring up my navy to fight these guys, and at the same time we're gonna bring this army forwards to attack here. And it might just be that we get intercepted or attacked. I think we'll start with the advance on land. Right, they're not gonna attack us, which I guess, yeah, it's should maybe have been obvious given the troops they have in the region. We're gonna send the cavalry to follow there. What do we have here? A smaller part of the naval force. I'm not gonna let them join in this force just because I want to make sure that I can actually attack there, so I don't get stopped right in front of it. In terms of what kind of army we should recruit here, I mean, definitely need some kind of artillery, but I don't think we have time to wait for some super heavy ones. And in terms of the force, I guess we could splinter, or we could get in some of the new stuff. I don't know if... The thing about snipers is, although they've got great range and so on, you have to sit for quite a while to actually get any good use out of them. So I don't think we're gonna get any of those. We might get some flamethrowers, quite a few. They are always quite spectacular, but same as the sniper, you have to have a very specific situation to make them useful. Enough talking though, let's go ahead and do some raiding. Cecil will command his strike on the Austro-Hungarian Navy. It retreats, no surprise there. That was very loud, wasn't it? Did I set the sound that high? I'm not sure. I'm gonna go ahead and attack again as he retreats. I mean, Is there even any point in fighting it? Barely, but I'm sure if I out-resolve it, I'm gonna lose a few ships. So I guess we'll have to fight it in the way that it's set up right now. So, without further ado, let's sink the Austro-Hungarian Navy. And there the fight is off. As we can see, what I was hoping to see was that I was splitting the force in two, where I would run up on either side and destroy them, but the Austro-Hungarian fleet is decisively turning against one of them. There's also a bit of mismatch where one of the flagships, the HMS Glorious, is outpacing the rest of the fleet. And we've got something similar going on the other side, where we've got the Indomitable and the Oak way ahead of the rest of the fleet. They're really gunning for it. Their armored cruisers is really going straight for my main ship there. We are barely able to fire at them with the secondary fleet. I'm gonna have to turn them in, or turn them towards the enemy more rapidly. They are closing in at quite the speed here. Although they're facing a lot of guns, I should be able to lay tons of guns on them right now. And their admiral just died. That ship is not going to stay above water for long if they don't decide to surrender. One interesting thing here which I noted on the transport ship is the transport ship actually has troops on it. So I don't know if anyone would get close like these guys would fire musket. I'm not sure also how they managed to lose about half the crew. But that they did. So 2 of their cruisers have been taken out. 3 remain. But soon enough, they will fall beneath the waves as well. We'll set a course towards here. I think the Admiral should be able to fire if he just turns a little bit. You can kind of see sort of the trace marks of the explosions or the shells flying through here. So you can see a concentration of shells going in this direction right here. It's coming up behind us. At the same time, what is he firing at? Because he's firing straight at nowhere. Oh, he wants to come up for a duel, does he? So we still have 57 guns. A lot larger guns as well. He's on fire and surrendered almost immediately upon coming with a broadside. Just need to turn here a little bit. What has happened to this formation? Actually, continue as you were, so you can actually turn more shots onto the enemy. Pretty sure this one's gonna rout in a second now as well. You'll continue through. Oh, we are victorious, but we're gonna run it through to the very end, make sure that everyone is sinking or surrendered. I don't want any of these ships roaming the seas. Because after this fleet is taken out, the Allies got total control. Right. Come on. Just a little bit more, just a few more shells. And they're gone. And our alliance will be in total control of the Mediterranean. Specifically turn the ships a little bit. If you halt, If you speed a little bit forward, you speed at normal speed, and you go at full speed. Micromanagement a little bit there, and now every ship should hopefully, soon enough, be ready to fire on this. Now there's only 10 crew left, with only 4 guns operational. They're trying to get out. I don't know why they're not surrendering, given the force they're facing. Any second now, the thing is gonna explode in a catastrophic... Oh, there! I guess he surrendered. You saw that broadside coming from there. He surrendered before it hit. But there we have it. Not too bad, and we could head back into the Black Sea to repair the fleet. We don't... Or, I don't know if Gibraltar is closer, who knows. We might be able to conquer Croatia, and we can have the fleet just anchored out here. No, you know what I remember now? I needed to get it back up into the Baltic. There is where we need to go. And we need to send away the German Navy, or send the German Navy to the bottom. So, that's what we're heading next with the Navy. There's the result of that. We took out the enemy. Over there, 5 ships, none remain. Or according to this, 2 remain, but I doubt that. In terms of casualties, HMS Glorious managed to lose 46 sailors. Then we've got a few handful here. HMS Phoenix. I wonder which is which here. This is... Yeah, Phoenix managed to, for some reason, lose a bunch of people, right? Phoenix lost 32, next highest one, and it was never fired upon. So I don't know if it is that the crew upon the ship was in the sails, and because they're in the sails they like fall down and die or something. I don't know. And we have... I mean, we have lots of enemy killed on those ships. Kind of hard to calculate how many they lost, but yeah. So there we have that. Their navy is gone. Their trade route is broken. And we'll combine the fleet to... No, you know what? We should head immediately back to Britain. So we set a course for home. And that is all good. Now it's only the battle for Belgrade that is left. So... with that, let's go ahead and end turn and make our way into Belgrade, shall we? Interesting strategy here by the defenders of Belgrade, where they actually sally forth. The troops from the bridge attack us directly. It's actually quite a clever strategy, because that means that they can actually use these guns as their fixed artillery, I believe. Or maybe not. Anyways, they will be able to put them to use in the first fight here. And bring in the rest of the Bosnian-Herzegovinian troops later on. And the kind of useless mortars. It's supposedly a 50-50 fight. The enemy outnumbers us just slightly. But then again, they don't have a proper general. So their numbers don't really matter that much. With that said, let's go into battle and destroy the enemy forces around Belgrade. Quite simple, really. We've got the artillery concentrated in the center. We're gonna move the troops straight towards the enemy. If the enemy does turn up from behind or from the sides or something, the town should soak up a lot of their advance movements, or it will take him quite a while for them to... Oh, they are actually turning up right behind the rest of their troops. Our immense bombardment starts, and I'm sure the Austro-Hungarians will answer with a barrage of their own. We do have 2 units of machine guns that will be drawn up together with this. Ooh. one of the staff officers got hit by one of the enemy shells. We'll have a walk in advance, as I want my machine guns to be... for my machine guns to be in close support of the rest of the force. We don't suffer that many casualties if we can turn the enemy to mush just by our machine guns. And currently they're walking in a perfect alignment for my machine guns to turn up the flanks on them. Not within range just yet, but soon enough they will be. In terms of strikes on our artillery, we have not lost a single gun yet, but it looks like this one's not operational just because there's not enough crew members to actually man it. So I wouldn't say it's too bad just yet. Machine gun is about to come within range pretty darn soon. We got the Scots right here. I'll actually tell them to get a move on and get into the flank. Then we'll get 3 of the Australians to move there, and then we've got a mix of Australian and New Zealand going here. And let's move rapidly now. Alright, the machine gun is within range. So I'll tell them to actually stand about there and then open fire upon the enemy. Can I get gas all the way back here? I think that's actually advisable to hit that with gas. We haven't really been able to break their bloody guns. Don't like that. Right, the machine gun's about to open fire. And I would be I probably am able to push through to the point where I could threaten their field guns. Looks like the enemy troops are actually pulling back. So we'll once again set on the advance. This force will move to something like that, and then the New Zealand troop that is ending up in the woods can actually push forward. We got a massive surge of enemy troops. Try and break it up with a little bit of gas. And I think we're gonna have the heavy artillery focus that way as well. The Tiroler Jäger guards are turning up. Let's get the troops in a little bit better position there. What are they doing? Are they preparing for a bayonet charge? We're coming really close to our own lines here, so I'm turning the gas over to fire upon the cannons. They do actually have the numbers, don't they, to possibly break some of these units. Why are the New Zealanders not firing? Fire! They managed to get one shot in. Before the bayonet fight starts. $155 against 100. And this, we've got bayonet fight kind of along the line here. As Imperial troops tangle with my New Zealanders. Unfortunately, I mean, melee always looks really cool, but unfortunately for me, I don't think I've noticed that before. The New Zealand's gun is not visible from all directions for some reason. I'd completely missed that. Anyways, while I was looking at close-up fights there, the Austrians managed to completely destroy all their troops by their foolish advance. I will turn the attention of all the artillery to the enemy's last real holdout of good troops over there. and then we'll kind of sprint forward to get into position where we can fire upon their artillery. Yeah, good. You will hold there. I guess we should target the mortars. It's the real problem there. Let's see, we got the Highland Brigade ready to open flank fire in on the field guns. Hopefully be able to... oh, they are more or less disabled already. With the amount of fire we're putting down on the mortar crews, they should be put out of action pretty soon as well. With the amount of fire coming this way, you'd imagine... oh, now it died, actually. They are still able to fire some of the guns, it seems. Get the Highlanders closer. Get this New Zealand brigade. Oh no, this is the Australian one. Get that closer. Surprised that they're holding out as well as they are. Can we get a few shells going on that one bastard? Maybe. Just maybe we can win this war. So still 4 crew over there. Looks like one mortar was completely wiped out, with only 1 remaining. And now it's only the dragoons left. Still wearing the old style fancy helmets. You know what? Their rifles are the same. Is this for all rifles all of a sudden? Australian infantry. Huh, some weird glitch has caused the rifles to be all like that. Well, once I do my... once I do the after view, what you want to call it, I'll make sure that the rifles are clearly visible. There we go. The general, the enemy general was downed. Well, remains. There's a few crewmen out of that battery. I'm gonna tell everyone to hold fire as we're now charging in. I've never run into a temporary bug like that where it was somehow the rifles are not visible. Let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. And there the charge goes in. The crew is overwhelmed. And destroyed rather rapidly. Surprised they held for as long as they did. Or even still hold on. I'm sure as hell wouldn't have stayed with about 2,000 angry British troops coming bayonet charging me head on. But there we have it. Victory. Here's the result of that battle. We managed to lose 898 troops, while destroying 2,440 of the enemy. 240 of the enemy remain after the fight, compared to 1,200 of our own men. Right. In terms of highest kills, gas, followed by a Highland Infantry battalion and an Australian New Zealand battalion. As we go through, Highlander here only got 13 field guns, did really poorly, but then again they were only conducting counter-battery fire. They weren't really firing upon the enemy machine guns. 166. And then we have that. One of our conquered cities is under siege. It's the one that Allenby was on his way to. Should be within range to intercept and save that. Berlin has fallen. Some fall too young. You can shed a tear that she's gone, or you can smile because she lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she'll come back, or you can open your eyes and see all she left. Competition law. Army bombarded. Okay, so apparently we were bombarded here. Interesting. So I guess a aircraft came around and bombed us. Aircraft detected. German aircraft. Ooh, I have a fighter close by, don't I? Yes, I have one right here. So Oliver Pitt is gonna go over and shoot this guy down. Okay, well, yeah. They landed. They took stagecoaches to a specific position, and they stabbed each other. I think our aircraft might have won the duel, actually. And he died! You shot him down. Look at that! Wonderful. Opponent killed. We shot down one of their reconnaissance planes. Wonderful. Troops recruited in Mecklenburg. So what I wanted to do there is I wanted to get 2 service battalions to take over the guard of that area, and that this will free up Sir Douglas Haig to move on the Germans. Currently right here, I don't see the Germans making a move to kind of retake it, which is a bit sad. They have got plenty of armies to go ahead and retake it from the French. I don't see why they wouldn't. At the same time, I saw here that the Russians were actually able to put down the revolt. But we know it's gonna be I don't know why it ended up now. I think it's triggering wrong. Because this one isn't supposed to trigger the communist revolt, right? That turns up later. Or maybe it is this one. No, it is the later one, right? It comes right around winter. Am I mistaken? So I think that triggered a little bit early, and we know it's going to be a bigger one that's going to trigger throughout Russian territory. And that one is the one that's going to completely break up the Russians. With this said, I think we're going to end it here. Here, I mean, I could rush through and out-resolve and get rid of this, but my fear is that an out-resolve will kill too many of my troops. I'll lay it under siege, and then we'll see what we'll do next video. Cavalry's on its way. 2 turns and it will be there. The bridge is open so the aircraft can go through and actually see maybe what's in Transylvania. It's quite a large force there. No wonder then that the Russians seemingly haven't been able to push through. I don't know why the Russians are so determined to build up Hungary in this fashion when I doubt they've put enough... Well, they've actually put tons of effort into building up their own stuff as well. I wish their navy went on the offensive against the German one. But there we have it anyways. I'm gonna end the video right here. So for next one, we're gonna have Allenby going for Darmstadt. And then, where was I? We're gonna hopefully get the Serbians back by reclaiming Belgrade. So that will be good. And somehow I also want the French to lose Berlin. If they could do that, that would be fine. So I can take it. Yay. Anyways, with that said, let's go ahead and say as we always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!